see my screen being shared?
Yes, that's it.
Why don't you just end the screen sharing, end it, and then start?
So they start again.
Okay, stop screen sharing. Okay, I share
End
again.
Okay.
Okay. Share. Can you now see it?
Yes, we can see it now.
Yes, of course, yes.
Okay. So I just want to, the aspects, all these are just the modules that we develop, but there are some key foundations that I want to draw our attention to. The first thing is the modules are prepared with the focus on the programs coverage. And that's why we seem to have so many modules like that. And the program coverage that we are looking at, depending on whatever the institution decide, is to have general certificate in workforce studies, which will be 6-month program. Then professional certificate in workforce management and administration. That one can be a 3-month program. Professional certificate in workforce law and practice for lawyers and those who want to know about the legal aspect of workforce. Then we can have diploma in workforce studies, which will be 1 year. Then all things being equal, we can also have postgraduate diploma or advanced diploma in workforce studies. So that one can be 2 years, and professional certificate in workforce dispute resolution, as well as professional certificate in workforce product design and implementation. So I believe that if the academic has all these various programs, is going to give a kind of a wider openness to different interests of prospective candidates to do what they need and be able to have a kind of a certificate that they desire. So the modules generally is they cover the aspect of conceptual studies, Sharia studies, management and administration studies, legal, legislative, judicial, and documentation studies on workforce, as well as historical development and economic and investment studies on workforce. So these are the various areas where knowledge of workforce is needed, and which all the modules are made to reflect to cover. So what is now going to be left, as I mentioned here, that the further action, which we have not completed based on the report we are giving now, is to now look at how we are going to assign credit units and hours to each module, and the number of modules that will be for each program. Then we now define the actual module that will be done for each program, including those that will be mandatory, those that will be elective, and those that will be required or whatever. Of course, there will be a kind of a mixture or intermingling between some modules, which will be done by different candidates that is undergoing different programs of a certificate. So in this regard, if we look at those modules, you are going to see that they cover all these various aspects of focus in terms of the training that people will need in the workflow training. Then the organogram, I don't know what we have in on ground, but I'm just suggesting that there will be a kind of council, just like any academic setup. Then the management, either we call it DE or we call it provost. But on a personal note, I would suggest that we go by the name DG, Director General of the Academy, because that makes it to be unique as to the popular provost, whatever that is usually used for other institutions like that. Then the academic board will consist of the various facilitators as well as the administration section. So when we now look at the modules, So there are still a kind of a draft for us to see, which are now going to be further fine-tuned in order to now departmentalize them into different programs, as well as giving them credit units, credit hours, and to decide to designate them whether they are going to be a kind of a mandatory, or they will be required, or they will be elective. So this is just the brief that I think I should also had before we, Doctor will continue to give us more details about the modules. So if there's any questions for me before I go on the line, Jazakumullah khair.
Number 2 secretary, and no question.
Well, I commend the efforts. The only thing here is who strongly driving WAPs. Most of the feelings. I think there is no point for seller messages to start and start another one of Sakat. So it's better to start adding that.
Okay. Jazakumullah khairan. The question he was asking is that there is nothing for zakat, and we are talking about Islamic social finance and all the rest, Islamic economics and finance and so on and so forth. That we should from onset include zakat, the weather certificate, diploma, and all the rest, and include equally courses that are relevant to that in the modules. So that's the question he was asking, because we can't ask Z&S as a parent of this one, so go and float another institute. So what's your response to that, Doctor?
Okay. I think from our engagement with Malam Maruf, maybe I just got it the impression that the focus was just on workful for now. But that will not be a problem, because it's just for us to adapt and bring the aspect of Zakat. So, which means the academy, I don't know whatever name we call it, maybe it's going to be Z&S, Wakfu and Zakat Academy. And I should also advise, maybe professionally on this as well, it will not be too good for the academy if you go by the name Z&S Islamic Social Finance Academy, because I believe in the global world now, Zakat and Wakfu, people love to have them a kind of being specialized, not mixed up with social finance. Because if you say it's social finance, I understand that that could give us a wider opportunities to do so many other things later. But I will want to advise that Zakat and Wakfu, they really need specialized institutions that people will know when they come to this academy, the academy is only preoccupied with Wakfu and Zakat education. And even some institutions or organizations who are looking for a partnership or institution, they will be more comfortable to partner if they are looking for an Wakfu or Zakat educational institution. They will be more comfortable to partner with one that focuses and specializes on Wakfu and Zakat, rather than the one that is just too wide, focusing on Islamic social finance. Because when you say it's Z&S Islamic Social Finance Academy, that flavor of speciality and focus on Wakfu and Zakat is lost. And it's not going to be any special institution. Rather, people will look at it as all for all institution. So if that is the case, we will also work on the Zakat aspect. But I want to get a feedback on what we feel about the program coverage that we have suggested in terms of the certificate program that we have here. So that is my response.
And the name for the institute.
Area for Islamic social extensions and Islamic social economy.
Yes, well, I was trying to remember the name we took that was approved for us. Academy of Islamic Economic
And finance.
and Finance. I mean,
Islamic fund.
okay, we are going to confirm that, but still somebody is raising
My comments.
that we want to comment before you leave.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the programs we're trying to roll out. About 7 of the 5, 6, 7 years. Can't we streamline them into like 3 or 4 programs, rather than work for another? Then I don't know, in this modern days, do we need to spend like 2 years to study regarding stock? Is it that too ambitious, too long, if you know, study? But anyway, now,
You took semester to be okay, well, 18 months. Yes, thank you. This you can't work that. Very complete private space. So,
it's not just my.
if that's your comments, well, it's asking whether we could prune down the number of the programs to about 3 or so. But for me, since we have our targeted whatever for law now, those who are the lawyers who want to have knowledge of this one, we can't say this will come and study as those who are going to be managing the workflow, whatever. So some of them are still in order. But anyway, this is about 7 of them. We can prune them to 5 so that professional certificates or so can equally be merged with whether diploma in the workforce study and things like that, depending upon the qualification with which the person is going to enter into the program. Alan.
Yeah,
Hello?
the focus, like you said rightly, sir, is that we have different target audience or participants. And that will mean, let me give an example of this issue of a professional certificate in workflow dispute resolution. Right now, as workflow is growing, a lot of issues are coming up, which will require that there should be some specialists who are trained in resolution of a workflow dispute. So we cannot even match that with certificates in workflow laws and practices, because their focus is going to be totally different. So that is the reason. The aspect that I'm looking at is just the aspect of maybe we want to have diploma in a workflow, which cannot be that later it will be just maybe ordinary diploma, or it's going to be advanced or postgraduate diploma or professional. So that one can be indicated like that. Then again, I don't think there's anything wrong if you have all of them already, they're prepared now. The only thing is just the time of implementation will be what will vary. We start with something now, then later as the institution is growing, we can have whatever that we think is now also necessary, rather than just saying we are putting them aside. If you have the modules for all of them now available, so we would know that any time that we see is now time, maybe based on demand or whatever, then we can now come up with such.
Thank you very much. I just find out from the certificate of incorporation that our name is institute. Our name is Center for Islamic Economics and Social Finance. Center for Islamic Economics and Social Finance. So that's the name. And that should equally reflect in whatever we are going to do, because the It's also finance, it's part of the name. And so we cannot do away with that aspect again. I think that clears the air.
Okay, then in that regard, let me quickly make this suggestion.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Under the center, so I will suggest that for the purpose of the Wakfu and Zakat, so we can say we have School of Zakat and Wakfu Studies under the Center for Islamic Social Finance, so that when people want to relate, I'm talking from experience. There was a time I got a contact from somewhere outside the country. They were asking for a particular, if there's any institution, they even specify that not even the one that they will say a department in a university where they are doing, that if they have any, even if it's in a university, but they have a particular unit that is specifically dedicated to Wakfu and Zakat research. So they were looking for them to partner. I think they wanted to make some grants or whatever available. So it will make it easier if we have under that center School of Zakat and Wakfu Studies. So that whenever we want to deal with anything that has to do with this Zakat and Wakfu training, we know that it's under that school, which is under the general umbrella of the center.
So, sure, now you may attend to other important engagements. Dr. Yaya will see us through other section of the presentation. And if you have any feedback, we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Inshallah. Thank you very much.
Salaam alaikum.
Well,
Go ahead,
can
then.
I start now?
Yeah.
Yeah, come with new things. So, but what we agreed upon is about only 2 courses. So if Mr. Adeluton go through the minutes of the past, you will see that we agree on 1 year diploma course in Wakfu Studies, and the second one, certificate in Wakfu, that is for 6 months. So on that one, we did the modules about that and all 1 modules, which we also agreed upon. So on these modules, that one I worked. So because it was